Here tonight's starting goalies brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Mackenzie Blackwood, as we mentioned, gets the start for Canada. New Jersey's second-round pick in 2015. And for the Czechs, it'll be 19-year-old Karel Vejmelka. And don't look now, but Nashville might have found another late-round goaltender picked in the 5th round in 2015. He played 7 games in the Czech Extra League, the top league this year, at a save percentage of .923.
Well, and they've been able to find first Pekka Rinne, then Makinec, who played some games, a big goaltender. And, you know, the goaltender who's not a big guy, who they found in the 4th round, who led Finland to the gold medal a couple years ago at the World Junior, Soros. They're turning into a pretty good goaltender factory.
Interesting here, the starting lineup for Canada. On left wing, you've got Dylan Strome, and on the right wing, you've got Mitch Marner. So Strome is center. He's playing the left side, and the center of this line is Mitchell Stevens of Saginaw, the Ontario Hockey League. Strome and Marner have had great chemistry playing together at the under-17 and under-18 level. They antagonize each other when they face each other in the OHL. Spins back in the corner, back to Point. He's playing the point in the power play. Hicketts to Marner. Marner winds in, drops it down to Del Call, centers it, and Point takes a whack at it. And Karel Vejmelka able to make the stop in tight. It's a lot of firepower. High NHL first-round picks whacking right that loose puck.
And you want to translate to the NHL, you got to be quick. Michael Del Call gets a great pass in the slot. He's not quick enough. And then when this play comes back here, this is the one in the slot, but then as the play comes back to the front of the net on the quick play, he's got to get that puck back across the crease quicker.
Dunn was flattened in front. Here's Barzal back with it. Takes the return feed. Runs it back. LeBlanc, shot, scores! Olivier LeBlanc pounds it home, and Canada takes a 1-0 lead.
Pounds it home is apropos because right off the pass, he's shooting it. Barzal puts it right there in a good shooting position, and LeBlanc doesn't back up. He doesn't try to get it set. He shoots it right off the pass. Vejmelka doesn't get a chance to really, you got to try to read it, and then you got to try to get the position, and LeBlanc doesn't give him that chance. Really solid play by Olivier LeBlanc.
LeBlanc scored 7 times in 58 games for Cape Breton and St. John last year. He's moved from St. John to Cape Breton. Olivier shoots a long shot through traffic, and Vejmelka hangs on to that.
Well, Mackenzie Blackwood, who gets the start for the 2nd time in this junior showcase, looked very solid, steady, not any bobbles, directing the puck perfectly. That's what you want to see from your goaltender. Even, you know, goaltenders that even make you a little bit uncertain even when they're making the saves don't inspire confidence, but that certainly hasn't been the case with Mackenzie Blackwood in this game.
Assistance when a player from their club team has to be cut. So Lowry right now wouldn't have that problem. Now a long lead pass for Point. Braden Point busting in the backhand shot, scores! Braden Point taps it home, and the scoring binge continues for him. A sweet feed from Joe Hicketts and a 2-0 lead.
Yes, Joe Hicketts gets his head up very quickly, and you know, you talk about chemistry and playing with one another. Well, there's a trust there, and Braden Point trusts that Joe Hicketts can get that puck up to him as he takes right off, and then the beautiful hands in tight and opening up Vejmelka perfectly, slipping it right over that pad underneath the glove. But there he is, pointing to him. I trust you, Joe.
Braden Point now has 6 points in 4 periods and a bit for Canada in the summer showcase. He showed up in Moose Jaw at the end of his midget season as a 16-year-old and scored 7 goals in 14 playoff games, including 2 overtime winners, one of which was a series winner.
Puck, Joe Hicketts did.
And Canada has switched goaltenders after all. So Samuel Montembeault does come in. So they've kind of gone back and forth on what they wanted to do. So after facing 13 shots and stopping them all, Mackenzie Blackwood goes to the Canadian bench. So no warm-up though for Montembeault, comes off the bench. He tips that wide of the goal. In comes Point again. Centers it. Berkeley scores. What a feed from Braden Point. Oh.
Unbelievable. That's what it is. It's unbelievable. I mean, he looks off the Czech defender, quickly turns and pivots, and then all Merkley has to do is get it off his stick quickly into the net. And I mean, that's Braden Point. I mean, he's elusive. Merkley makes a good play to get it to him. Superb.
Played 5 periods in this summer camp. He's got 7 points. 5 against the Czechs in the first meeting, and 2 more tonight.
The under-18 tournament in Finland 2 years ago, the April under-18 tournament, he ended up getting a concussion, and he wasn't able to play after the preliminary. He got hurt during the preliminary round. Never really get recovered, and he was not practicing the last part of the year.
There's a 2-on-1 for the Czechs. Gresh works it back, and they score. Sweet cross-ice pass to Jakub Zaboral from Thomas Gresh, and the Czechs are on the board, down 3-1.
Nice maneuver by Gresh, moving the puck into a position where the Canadian defender had to defend against it, but it opened up the passing lane across the lane with Montembeault. Just a real solid play. The right shot there, you see there, Carrier tries to defend against it. Nice pass by Gresh as he's making the move, and Montembeault can't get back. Left to right and trying to go back to his right. An almost impossible play.
In comes Marner. Slides it ahead for Strome. What a pass. Strome shoots, scores! Strome from Marner. Get used to hearing that. And it's 4-1 Canada.
Through skates, under sticks. Mitch Marner makes an excellent play, but you watch Dylan Strome moving into that dangerous area, taking advantage of the skills of Mitch Marner. And pretty quick hands to maneuver the pass from his backhand into a forward position, and then being able to slip it beyond Vejmelka. Very good hands, very good awareness. Dylan thinks quick. Once his feet improve and get to that same level, hard to find centermen, and Dylan Strome certainly looks like one of those centermen that can anchor a team up the middle of the ice.
Tournament will be in the United States. They narrowed it down to 4 cities: Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Tampa. There's a tap-in goal in front. Another sweet pass, and this time hammered home by Merkley before the whistle, and it's 5-1.
He was just warming up with that other shot, and the second goal of the game, very different than the first one, but driving the far post, and just a really good attack through the middle of the ice, through the neutral zone by Team Canada, and Merkley reading it perfectly. Can't make a better pass than that. Braden Point with his 3rd point of the game.
Nick Merkley, who had 70 assists in 72 games for Kelowna, which went to the Memorial Cup. What?
But Jeremy Watt, he played as 14 in the Midget League.
There's Chabot with a shot tipped in by Strome, with Marner standing beside him, and it's 6-1 Canada.
On the power play.
Yeah, power play goal. Strome now has 2.
Pretty good effort all the way through this 4-day junior showcase. Chabot with his head up, hits the Czech player's stick as it goes off the stick of Thomas Chabot and then off the knee of Dylan Strome. So a couple of fortunate bounces for Team Canada that leads to the goal. And it's not just conditioning, it's all the elements that allow you to perform at your best level.
If you move walking in, and a goal there for Vasilevich as David Vasilevich taps it by Montembeault, and the Czechs have their 2nd goal of the hockey game.
Yes, play through the middle of the ice. Little stick check by Nicola Ovi-Kubo, but I think that is not any type of an egregious error. It's just 4 days, a long stretch here for the Canadian players, and the Czechs can leave with a little moral victory. Somewhere in the system there was a seizure.
Final Final seconds, and Canada will win it by a score of 6-2. 3 wins and an overtime loss for Canada. Junior showcase. Now these players will head their separate ways and reconvene as a group here in Calgary in December for the selection camp. But between now and then, there are seasons to be played. There is the exhibition series against the touring Russian team in November that the coaches will look at. All leading to the 2016 World Junior Hockey Championship in Helsinki. 6-2 is your final score. The Czechs will line up, shake hands. We'll see if this goes incident-free tonight after the episode last night against the Russians. Chernock and Marner had a word before the handshakes, actually, to sort of clear the air after their little altercation earlier. And a number of these Czech players will now return home and go straight into their Czech Extra League training camps. So their season has begun. 6-2 in the final score. We're back with more from the World Junior Challenge after this.